Hi everyone and welcome back to a new episode of Diagnose Dan. Today we are working on a 2014 Fiat Ducato with a 2.3 liter multi-jet diesel engine. The customer complaint is the glow plug light on the dash is flashing and he's getting a notification, get your glow plug system checked. So I guess we'll be checking that together. Now before we start diagnosing this van, we've got to pick two winners for the giveaway in my previous video. One winner for the mobile scan tool and one winner for the Dytex relative compression meter. We'll also be doing a giveaway in this video on the Launch Creeder 3001. More on that giveaway at the end of this video.
The first tool we're going to give away is the Mobile Scan Bluetooth OBD scan tool. This prize will be sent directly to you by Mobile Scan Denmark. If your name shows up over here, please contact me through Facebook, and if you haven't got Facebook, please send me an email. My email address is in the description box of this video. And the winner is Dennis van Dijk. Congratulations. The second tool we are giving away is the Dytex Relative Compression Tester. This tool will be sent to you directly from Dytex. If your name shows up over here, again, contact me through Facebook or send me an email. And the winner is Peter Mike. Please contact me and I will make sure you will receive your prize. Congratulations.
Now let's start out by confirming the customer complaint. Customer complaint confirmed. Now before we continue, let's learn more about glow plugs.
In a diesel engine, the fuel-air mixture ignites by itself when the temperature in the combustion chamber becomes hot enough. In order to get a cold engine to start easier, glow plugs are used to preheat the cylinders. Let's turn on the ignition and see what happens to the glow plug. Within seconds, it reaches a temperature of 850 degrees Celsius. It preheats the air in the cylinder, and now we can start the engine. In this picture, we see a glow plug and a glow plug relay. On our van, the glow plug relay is internal to the glow plug control module. The glow plug and the glow relay are actuators. When the glow plug is energized, the temperature of its tip increases to 850 degrees Celsius in just a few seconds. This improves combustion when the engine is cold, during both cranking and after the engine has started. Each cylinder has got one glow plug. The tip of the glow plug protrudes into the combustion chamber through a recess in the cylinder head. A glow plug acts as a PTC resistor. As the temperature of the glow plug increases, its resistance increases as well. The current is therefore high in the beginning, which causes the glow plug to reach temperature quickly. But when the glow plug gets hotter, we will see the current draw drop. We will be able to see this clearly in one of the measurements we'll be doing in this video. In this picture, we've got 4 glow plugs. The glow plugs are cold right now. Let's take a multimeter and let's take a resistance reading of one of the glow plugs. Let's turn our meter to ohms and connect our test leads to the glow plug. And we've got a reading of 0.8 ohms. A reading of about 1 ohm is very typical for a glow plug.
Now that we've learned more about glow plugs, let's get back to our diagnosis. There is a very quick and non-intrusive way to check the health of your glow plugs. First, we're going to do a measurement on the van. After that, we're going to take a look at a wiring diagram and I'll explain where and what we just measured. Then, we're going to take a look at the fundamentals and we'll do a calculation to see if what we just measured was actually any good. It might not have been totally necessary, but I removed the headlamp from this van. It's only a 10-minute job, just to make it easier to work and film. Underneath the headlamp, bolted against the frame, is our glow plug control module with internal relay. I'm gonna put my amp clamp around the big red wire. I'm gonna turn on the ignition while you guys take a look at the reading. I'm gonna turn on the ignition and you guys take a look at the measurement. As you could see, the amp draw was about 40 amps in the beginning, while the glow plugs were still cold. As glow plugs warm up, their resistance changes. So the 40 amps at the beginning is quite important to us. Now let's take a look at a wiring diagram to see where and what we just measured.
This is the wiring diagram for our glow plugs. This is our glow plug control module. It is controlled by the engine control module. It gets its power feed from this big red wire that comes from a 50 amp fuse in the fuse box. When the relay closes, it sends the power feed down to our glow plugs 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. The glow plugs are connected to the glow plug control module by a brown, red, yellow, and green wire. We are going to place our amp clamp on the big red power feed. When the relay closes, we will measure all the current flowing to our glow plugs.
As we have seen in the wiring diagram, this big red wire is coming from a fuse and feeding all the glow plugs when the relay is closed. So the 40 amps we saw in the measurement was all the current flow through the relay when the relay is closed. Now we also have got a green, yellow, and red and brown wire going to each and individual glow plug. Let's do a measurement on each and every one of them and see what we've got. There is no current flow through the green wire. That green wire is going to the glow plug of cylinder number 4. Now let's do a simple test to prove there is no path to ground, so no current flow, on that green wire. Let's do another simple test. Each and every glow plug is grounded in the engine block, so it should provide a path to ground. I've got my test light connected to battery positive. So whenever I touch something that's grounded, my test light is going to light up. Let's start with the brown wire, and the test light lights up. Red, yellow, and finally our green wire. Could we have known there was something wrong with our glow plugs after that first quick measurement, when we measured the 40 amps draw? Could a car drive into a workshop? Could we do a quick amp draw test and say, hey, something ain't right? The answer is yes, we can. And I'm going to prove it to you using Ohm's law. Ohm's law says voltage is current multiplied by resistance. So to find out what a current draw should be, there are two things we need to know: the supply voltage and the total resistance of our glow plugs. Let's start out by measuring our supply voltage. Let's back probe that big red voltage supply. Let's turn on the meter, and I've got my negative lead connected to battery negative, and I'm going to connect my positive lead to the supply voltage. And the supply voltage is 12.48 volts. So our supply voltage is 12.48 volts. The next thing we need to know is the total resistance. The next thing we need to find out is our resistance. So let's put our meter on ohms. Let's connect one side of our terminal to the positive of our glow plug, and this is a brand new one, and the other side to the casing. And we can see that our resistance is almost spot on 1 ohm. This is very typical for a glow plug. We already knew our supply voltage was 12.48 volts. We want to know what our current draw should be, and we have measured the resistance. We've seen that the resistance of one glow plug is 1 ohm. Now, because there are 4 glow plugs on this engine and they are in parallel, the total resistance is only 0.25 ohms. Right now, we can calculate our current draw. If you're having trouble calculating this, I'm going to teach you a little trick to simplify things. Let's write 6 is 3 times 2. Now, let's imagine that our voltage is 6, our current is 3, and our resistance is 2, and we need to know our current. Right away we see that 3 is 6 divided by 2. So our current is our voltage divided by our resistance. So our amp draw is going to be 12.48 divided by 0.25, and that's going to be very close to 50 amps. The 50 amps we just calculated is in a perfect situation, when everything is working like it is supposed to be. In our case, there are only 3 glow plugs working. So our total resistance is not 1 ohm divided by 4, but 1 ohm divided by 3. Our total resistance is 0.05 33 ohms. Now, if we do the same calculation again, it's 12.48 volts divided by 0.33 ohms, and that's going to be close to 38 amps. Very close to what we measured. We were only seeing 40 amps when we were supposed to see close to 50 amps. Now, it might look complicated to you, but believe me, it's only a 5-minute test. Now, I ordered new ones. I'm going to install them, and after that, let's take a new measurement. Now, I want to show you guys something that has totally nothing to do with our glow plugs, but in order to get to one of the glow plugs, a part of the EGR assembly had to come out, and I actually discovered two new problems. First of all, this side is connected to the EGR cooler. And that is not supposed to happen. There is coolant in this line. The other problem, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but the EGR is totally clogged. Now there's actually one of the glow plugs. It's actually number 4, our bad one. And it's the only one you can kind of see. The rest is even in a worse spot. So I won't be able to film it for you guys, but I'm gonna replace this one. And I'm gonna replace the other ones, the ones that are still good, but I'm gonna replace them anyway tomorrow. And I'm gonna address that with the other problems I just found. I'm trying to film, as hard as it is, a part of this procedure for you guys anyways. So I got it loose. Next thing is trying to get it out. And there it actually is. Let's do a quick measurement, old versus new. Let's start out with the new one, which we already knew was about 1 ohm. Yep, pretty close to 1 ohm. Now let's take the faulty one I just pulled from the engine, and let's see the reading on that one. And it has got a resistance of 95.5 kilo ohm. I just replaced that one glow plug right now. The other 3 I will do tomorrow. This van is in for a major service. Tomorrow I will address the other 3 and some other issues I just found on this van. Now, to show you guys the fix, let's hook up the amp clamp and see if our amp draw is anywhere near 50 amps. Now let's turn on the ignition and see if our amp draw is anywhere near 50 amps. "50 amps looks like a good amp reading to me. I guess we've got a fix. I checked inside the car and there's no more flashing light and no more message upon the dash. Using an amp clamp to check the health of your glow plugs is quick, easy, and safe. Everybody who snapped a glow plug, getting it out and tried to test it, knows what I'm talking about. Well, using Ohm's law fundamentals to diagnose a car is kind of cool, right? So I hope you like this video, and if you want to learn more, please subscribe to my channel. When you hit the little bell, you will get a notification each time I post a new video. Diagnose Dan, fixed it again. See you next time, guys. Now, just for fun, let's test the old one versus the new one with the power probe. I set the circuit breaker of the power probe to 20 amps, that should be enough. And I've set the power to latch. Now, a great feature of the power probe is that we can see the actual amp draw on the screen. Now, let's start out with the old one, the one I just pulled from the engine. Let's give it a ground and the power. And right now, this glow plug should heat up. Now, there's nothing happening. It is stone cold. And as you can see, there's no amp draw. So this one is definitely broken. Now let's try the new one. A ground and a power. And right away we can see we've got an amp draw and we see the tip lighting up. And no, I'm not gonna touch it. Now, after replacing the glow plugs, let's try the test light method once more. The test light is connected to battery positive, so when we touch ground, the test light lights up. 1, 2, 3, and finally 4. There's one thing we all like, and that's free tools. So if you want a chance of winning a brand new Launch Creator 3001, follow the link in the description box of this video. There's going to be a question there, and if you get it right, you might win a brand new Launch Creator 3001.